Okay, we are here in the Lightroom Catalog. Okay, I've just already started up Lightroom, and I'm going to go to my Pictures 2025, which is my new folder for 2025. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to import the D500 images. So I'm going to insert my card into my reader, and we'll wait for that to catch up here for a second. And we're going to hit the import button over here on the bottom left. And we're going to select the Nikon D500 as my source, and we're going to go into the DCM folder. And yeah, I think I got two different folder names here. Let's see why. Yeah, I think I got a little bit of overflow. Yeah. Anyways, we're going to look and see if any of these photographs have been imported yet. I've got the Don't Import Select Suspected Duplicates on in the upper right hand corner. And yeah, it looks to me like I've already edited some of these. I didn't format my card. These go all the way back to December 11th. Let's go on down to the bottom here and see if any of these are from today. If you just hover on there, it tells you the date they were captured on. This was on 1/5/25. That is today. So we're going to go back through here and try to find the beginning of all this. Let's see what date this is. Yeah. So we're going to start right here. First thing I'm going to do is uncheck all, and I've clicked on the first photograph for today, and I'm going to hold down my shift key and click on the last one. Then I'm going to check the box, so to check all the photographs. And these are all the photographs we're going to import. And if you'll look right down here at, and we're going to import those into a folder called Birds 01/05/24. I'd use dates on my stuff, and if you'll notice here that it's going into my digital media drive, which is a NAS drive, and it's going in. All these photographs are going into Birds 01/05/2024. We'll just go ahead and hit the import on that. Let that import. And while this is going on, I did take some photographs today with the Z50ii Mark II also, and we'll just go over here now and get that memory card out of that camera. That's a UHS card in there. The card I use in the D500 is a CF Express Type B, 256 gigabytes, made by ProGrade. Okay, I've got several of those cards. They seem to work really well. I have a ProGrade reader that reads them. Okay, we're going to go look at the second folder now. We're going to click on the import button again, and now we're going to go to the second folder and look at these images. This must be overflow. Once you reach to 999, it'll create another folder. We're going to go ahead and put those in the same folder, and it's already selected right here. So I'm going to unselect that destination and click on the destination down in the Birds folder, and we're going to go ahead and import these. We'll get all these imported, and then we're going to take a look at what we were able to capture today. The Northern Flicker pair, I had a pair today, were back. They seemed to like the suet, so they were back today on the suet, and I've seen them several times today, and I was able to capture some photographs of them. Okay, so that takes care of those images on the D500 card. And what I'm going to do now is pull that card out, all right, and then I'm going to put the Z50 Mark II card in the reader. If I can get it in there. Okay, let's see if it'll read that. I'm going to go back here to import, and it did pick up the Z50 Mark II card in the ProGrade reader. I'm going to click on this folder right here, and I'm not too sure about this either. Yeah, these are some old photographs in here. Now, I've got don't import suspected duplicates, and that's what it's doing now. It's finding the duplicates that I have. So again, I forgot to format this card, and we're just going to go right on down here to today's date. What's the date on this? That is 1/1/25. So let's see. Yeah, so those are already imported. As it's graying them out as it finds them on the hard drive. So we're scrolling down to get to the ones that are not grayed out or dimmed. And here we go right here. This first one here, I'm going to hover on it, 1/5/25. That's today's date. We're going to go ahead and put those in the same folder as the D500 images, except, well, I'll go ahead and take the movie files too. A lot of times I don't take the movie files off the card this way, but I will today, just for, and I'm going to put a keyword in here, Z50 Mark II, okay? And we're going to go ahead and import those into the same folder. And we're going to let that happen. Takes a little time to do that, so I'll probably cut this out of the video. Okay, we got the photographs imported, okay, and what we're going to do now is we're going to go see what we have. There's 322 photographs in this folder, okay. Let me get my metadata off of there. And what we're going to do now is call them out while we're doing this. Just like I told you a couple weeks ago, it's best to just go ahead and do that right away. So I'm going to start right up here at the beginning, at the first photograph, okay? And what we're going to do is start with this one right here. Now there's the northern flicker again. This was shot with the Z50 Mark II and the 500 PF lens, okay? Not a bad butt shot, but it's not what I want to keep. So I'm putting my caps lock key on now, and I'm going to hit the X key to reject that one, and we'll reject this one, and we'll probably reject that one. Yeah, we'll reject probably most of these right here. Whenever the bird has its rear end turned towards you, it's not really a good shot. You can kind of see the feather detail. Now, here's one where he's turned sideways, but that's not really a good one either. Okay, it was a little bit raining today, had a little bit of snow this morning, And I'm just going through here now, hitting the X key and chopping some of these off right away. Let's see what this one looks like. Yeah, I might give it a pick. So I'm going to hit the P key, and we'll hit the P key on that one. And I fired off quite a few shots when I was doing these. This is a bluebird, okay, that was out there. I'm not going to keep this one. I'm going to reject it. Okay. I'm looking for specific poses. This is a red-bellied woodpecker that came in. This is a white-breasted nuthatch. I'm hitting the X key on all these. I really don't have any I want to keep. This is not a good pose of the woodpecker, the red-bellied woodpecker. It's a back shot. I'm hitting the X key still, rejecting all these. I'm going to reject them. I'll let you know the ones I want to keep. Let's have a look at this one for a second. This is kind of nice, okay? I'm going to give it a pick. Hit the P key. We'll give this one a pick. And one more of those. I like this one hit where it's got its mouth open. So this house sparrow, okay, I get them in here a lot. Now, this is kind of dark, okay, and it's got a little bit of noise. This was shot with the Z50 Mark II. I'm going to go ahead and reject these. Okay, and this one here is a little bit overexposed. Z50 Mark II, really overexposed. I might keep that. I'm going to put a P on that just so we can play around with it a little bit. Oh, look at that one there where he's got his foot picked up. That's a cute little pose. Let's give a P on that one. This house sparrows, it's kind of cute. This is pretty neat where its feathers are kind of ruffled in the back. It's ISO 2000, so it's got a little bit of noise in there. But let's go ahead and put a pick on that one. There's one here where he's looking straight at me. Okay, we're going to pick those three, and I'm going to continue rejecting as I go through here. I really don't like this one too much. Doesn't do anything for me. Neither does this one. He's at the end of that woodpecker pole. It's hanging from out there, so that's not really like a natural setting where he was at. So we're back to the northern flicker again, and there was some suet on there. Now apparently the northern flickers like, now that's a nice pose right there. Okay, let's go ahead and put a pick on that one, and let's take that one and that one to make sure we get the sharpest one. I took those four right there. I'm gonna go back to the first one. This one, this one, this one, and this one. And we'll check those out and see which ones are the sharpest and which ones I want to work with. I'm gonna reject this one. Keep rejecting. This is a nice pose. He's kind of squatted down. Let's go ahead and put a pick on it for about 2 or 3 or 4 of those, and we'll continue rejecting. Like I said, it was pretty windy today, pretty cold out. This one here is kind of like half got his eyelids shut. They do blink, okay, believe it or not, birds do blink. Okay, that's another nice one. Like I said, they've been around for several days. This is one here where he jumped off of the perch. Again, this is the Z50 Mark II with the 500 PF. And then it went over to this house, okay? And that's pretty cool. It's got a little bit of icicles hanging off of it. Let's go ahead and put a pick on that just because it has character, okay? I want to get it so he's looking more towards me. I'm rejecting all these. It was checking out the inside of this bluebird house. I don't know why, because he can't fit in there. Here's a titmouse jumping off the woodpecker pole. It's out of focus. And we had a mockingbird out there today, okay? It's all in these vines and everything, so this it's on the trellis, so I'm going to reject those photographs. Okay, now we have changed over to the Nikon D500, and we are using the 70-200 f2.8 FLED VR lens, okay, at 200 millimeters, which is a 300 millimeter equivalent, and the f-stop was f4, okay. There's a little bit of noise here. It's ISO 3600, And I don't think it's in focus. The bird doesn't look like it's in focus. So I'm going to hit the reject button now. And all these right here. Yeah. Let me do a pick on one, and let's come back and edit one of those with the 70-200 lens. I got it out today and was playing around with it on the D500. These are high ISO noisy shots. It was at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Here's the northern flicker again. This is with the D500, the 70-200, upside down on the suet feeder. I'm going to reject all these because I don't usually process photographs where birds are on the feeders. Here's one here where he's rubbing his beak on that wood. Okay, it's pretty neat. You can see the icicles off this birdhouse. I'm going to reject all those except this one here, probably not, okay? I'm going to put a pick on it. I really like that one. Put a pick on that one, and that one, and that one. We'll do 4 of them like that. Make sure we get a sharp picture. This is at 1600 ISO, f4 on the 70-200 lens using the D500. I got it out to play with it today to try to get some environmental shots. And here's a bluebird standing on the gate out there. Let's put a pick on it and see what happens. This again is with the 70-200 all the way out with the 300mm equivalent. Go ahead and reject the rest of these. And I'm not too sure how these are going to process out. Let's go ahead and put a pick on one of these that looks like it's sharp. It's hard to tell with all that noise. And there's the flicker again, still on that birdhouse. I'm rejecting all those. This was pretty cool. The titmouse was inside this little birdhouse feeder I got. I'm going to reject this one, but I'm going to put a pick on this one because he's looking right at me, like peeking out around the side. It's pretty cool. Bluebird on top of the house. I'm rejecting these, okay, as we go along. We're up to number 206. This is a goldfinch. You know, let's see what the poses look like. I'm going to advance through this a little bit and see. Let me go full screen here. Let me back up. This is the first one, second one, third one. That's a cute little pose. I'm going to put a pick on that one, and we will reject these two, and this one, and that one. He was kind of turning around. Let's put a pick on that one. Oh, I like this one too. Let's do a reject on that one. Anyways, I'm just going through here now, culling, and you know, this is what we should be doing when we bring the photographs in. That's pretty cool. Bluebird on top of the house there. This again is with the 70-200 f2.8. I had it set at f4. Okay, so I'm not too sure how much depth of field I got. Put a pick on that one there. Here we are again with the flicker. Now we are still on the 70-200. Now we're at 170 millimeters at f4 with this picture here. I'm going to go ahead and put a pick on that one. And we'll go ahead and just run through here and reject the rest of these. Oh, that's a nice one. What is that one? That is really nice right there. Let me back up. This one right here. Let's put a pick on that one and this one. See which one's the sharpest. And that one's a pretty good one. I like it's got the little ice hanging off the bottom there. What I'm doing is looking for poses and, you know, what they actually look like. That's pretty good, except its eyeballs are kind of halfway shut. I'm not too sure that this lens with the f4 did me any good on these birds. I was trying to get a lower ISO and also trying to get more environmental shots. I'm rejecting all these photographs. I'm going to go ahead and put a pick on that one, and this one, and this one. This was the second flicker that came in on top of the other one. There were actually two here today. I hope they come back tomorrow. Let's put a pick on that one and see what it processes out at. I'm going through the rest of these right here. There's a downy woodpecker on the woodpecker pole. I'm going to run through these 70-200 images and get rid of them. Now we're back on the D500 using the 500 PF. European starling come in. They're just a bunch of bullies. They come in here and just get on the feeders, and you know they won't. They run the other birds off. They're like pack hunters. They come in here 10 or 15 at a time. I'm rejecting all those. Here we go with the house finch again. I mean house sparrow. Male downy. Put a pick on that one, see what we can do with it. There's one where he has got his eyes closed. Now we're in the video portion of these, so that's about all. Let's go back through these now and pick that one flicker I liked. It was on the log back here. I'm not going to delete any of these permanently just yet. This one right here, we're going to go into the develop module, and the first thing I'm going to do is crop it, okay? And we're going to crop it down a little bit. Like I said, I was trying to get environmental shots with the 70-200 to see what it looked like. And let's do something like that. And let's go ahead and run it through the denoise for Lightroom before we do any processing. This is at ISO 2000, so I'm going to make my denoise about 75%, or 75 is the amount. Let's see what that does. I doubt I post this video. So there's the denoised version of it. Let's go ahead and apply some Lightroom edits to it. I hit the basic tab and click on auto. Ooh, that's overexposed, isn't it? Let's bring that down just a little bit. And we're going to mask the background. And we're going to reduce the exposure on the background like that. Bring the contrast down and bring the highlights down. Then we're going to see, we're going to invert the mask. Okay, we call that background. We're going to rename that mask so we know what it is, background. And then we're going to click on the three dots, say duplicate and invert. And what I want to do is I want to keep the bird but remove the log from that. So I'm going to rename this bird, okay? And then we're going to subtract a brush tool. Let's actually use the object, select the object here. Just kind of paint over this with your mouse and it'll select it. And it pretty much removed that. And let's remove some more, okay? Subtract with the brush now. This down here is still selected right there. Okay. Now we can work with the bird, okay? And what I want to do is bring up the exposure just a little bit and drop the contrast and the highlights. And I'm going to increase the shadows just a touch, not much. A little bit of whites, take the blacks down a little bit. And let's get out of the masking and zoom in and look at the bird. It's not sharp. Okay, as sharp as I'd like to see it with that 70-200 lens. So I'm not too sure that was a good call today. This was actually at f4, so it's probably a really shallow depth of field. I'm trying to think where it's even sharp at on this picture. Okay, is it good enough for social media? Probably. Okay, if we do this kind of crop with it. But it's not as good as what I was getting yesterday with the 180-600 and the 500 PF. And again, it's probably because it's at f4. Okay. Let's go ahead and give it a 1 star. And we're going to go back through these photographs now. And let's go back to the Z50 Mark II photographs at the beginning. I'm going to go here and scroll up. I think those were done with the, yeah, that was done with the 500 PF, this one here. So it's ISO 2000. So let's go ahead in the develop module and go ahead and select denoise, and 75 is good. Let it denoise that photograph. I'm just seeing how this video hangs out, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and apply the Lightroom edits to it and hit the basic auto. And I'm going to increase the warm tones just a little bit. It's a little bit blue for me. We're going to select the background and mask it. Okay. And we're going to reduce the exposure on it, bring it down, bring the contrast back, and bring the highlights down. Okay. And then we're going to, let's just go ahead and create a new mask and select subject. And it did select the log, and I don't want the log selected. So we're going to rename this to bird. And then I'm going to subtract, and I'm going to use my brush tool, and I'm going to subtract by painting over the log. I don't want that included in what we're going to do. Okay. So we just get rid of that. And we're going to come over here. You don't have to be real particular with this, just kind of overall unmask this. We don't want to do any changes to this. So for the bird, I'm going to increase the exposure on the bird just a little bit. I'm going to bring the contrast back and the highlights back and bring the shadows up just a tad. Bring up a little whites, take a little blacks down, mainly what I do almost every time. Let's warm it up just a hair, okay? And I want to go down here and add a little texture to it. Not much. Let me zoom in here so you can see. I'm going to move the texture slider up. Okay, just a little bit. Okay. Anyways, it doesn't look too bad. It's a pretty cool little shot. Let's go ahead and crop it. I'm going to do a vertical crop. And I think what we'll do is just do an irregular vertical crop and come on down a little bit and do something like that. Okay. And now I'm going to apply a little bit of sharpening to the photograph. And, you know, this is the Z50 Mark II with the 500 PF on it, so at f5.6. That 70 to 200 didn't do very well, so I'm going to have to reevaluate that and see what causes that. If it's the f4, do I need to go to something else? I kind of bought that lens for its f2.8 capabilities, so I really didn't plan on doing any bird photography with it, but I thought I'd try it out today. Anyways, that's it for this Lightroom session, and thought maybe you might want to see what I do. And well, listen, we'll talk to you later. All right, bye-bye.